Hi, and thank you for attending our session today. It's titled How Best Western Built a Modular and Dynamic Contact Center. My name is Troy Tracy, and I'm the Senior Manager of Voice and Network Engineering at Best Western. Also joining us today is Aisha Borker. She's a Solution Architect with Amazon Connect at AWS. This session is intended to be a 300 to 400 level technical presentation. Our goal is to inspire you to create something new in your contact center or to make what you have a little bit better. The first half of the presentation today will be an overview of Best Western's contact center. The second half will be an overview of the AWS architecture that we use at Best Western and also a demo so that you can follow along and try to build these solutions yourself. Best Western Hotels and Resorts is not the same type of organization as other hotel brands. We are structured as a membership organization, which means that our hotel owners run the company at a strategic level. Hotel owners make up our board of directors, for example, and have the ability to vote on key initiatives. When we say that our vision is to lead the hotel industry in superior customer care, that is coming directly from the hotel owners. These hotel owners are running small businesses, sometimes multi-generational family businesses. I am proud of today's Best Western. 4,700 hotels across 18 unique brands, supporting these small businesses all over the globe. A key part of our customer service strategy is our contact center. Our largest contact center teams are hotel reservations, customer care, and Best Western Rewards, our loyalty program. These teams exist in North America and in Europe, and we support customers in 14 different languages. We know that the guest experience at the hotel extends into the contact center, and we want to innovate our contact center technology to improve experiences for these hotel guests. Our technology management organization is investing in a cloud transformation, primarily with AWS. 2 years ago, we began analyzing our legacy contact center solution and quickly realized that we were an ideal fit for a cloud-based contact center. Our Avaya system that we had was expensive to maintain and upgrade, and we frequently had to wait for voice talent to complete our recordings when we were creating new applications, and it was difficult to make changes to our legacy IVR. Our technology teams pride themselves on being agile and innovative, and this was not possible with our legacy systems. Look, I'm sure many of you are in the same position as we were. Maybe you have an older premise-based system and you have tinkered with the cloud, but you're just not sure that it's worth going all in. I totally understand that, and that's where we were just last year. Best Western moved all of our contact center agents to Amazon Connect because we focused on the outcomes that we wanted. There are so many features and capabilities of the cloud, we needed to decide what mattered to us. First, we wanted agents to have more context information available to them to help the caller quickly. Second, we wanted to be able to make changes faster. And finally, we wanted to be able to keep our telephone costs down. Not necessarily to save money, but to invest in features that make a difference to the customer. I'm convinced that customers don't really care how much you pay for your telephone service, but they do care if they have to repeat their name or account number. Our foundation with Amazon Connect is these features. Dynamic and repeatable Amazon contact flows. Personalized and predictive customer experience using Amazon Connect and AWS Lambda. AI-driven prompt support for 14 languages using Amazon Polly. And enhanced contact center analytics using Contact Lens. And all of these features combine to increase our speed to market so we can deliver our changes faster for our business. Now that we are a few months into our Amazon Connect migration, here are some of the transformative results. We were able to reduce the amount of manual recording that we had to do in our contact center by 94% by using text-to-speech in Amazon Polly. This saves us 2 to 3 days on each prompt update request from our business. We were also able to reduce our routing logic by 50%. We were able to do that by using dynamic attributes that I shall show you in a few minutes. And last but not least, we were able to eliminate approximately $200,000 of maintenance contracts from our legacy systems. Now, let's dive deeper into the architecture that we use and do a demo for you. Aisha Borker will take it from here.
Thank you, Troy, and hello, everyone. In the remaining session, I will deliver a technical deep dive of how exactly Best Western designed a dynamic and modular contact center. I will start by covering what exactly these dynamic capabilities are and show you an architecture diagram for the same. I will also walk you through some sample contact flows built on this very same design and conclude with a quick demonstration. But before I begin to list down the dynamic capabilities within Best Western's Amazon Connect deployment, let's quickly revisit what it meant to manage a legacy contact center there. Troy mentioned earlier that Best Western caters to multiple countries globally, supporting 14 different languages. Traditionally, this meant that they would manage different IVR flows for all of these countries, redundant versions of the same IVR flow for every new language. Any changes made to the backend integrations had to individually and manually be made across all the scripts. And finally, all of this had to be maintained across 3 different deployment environments, which is nothing but your staging, development, and production environment. A quick math on this. If every unique IVR flow had 10 subflows, which you multiply by 14 languages and 3 environments, which is a lot of overhead to support. So when Best Western moved to Amazon Connect, they were able to solve for this challenge by creating a single set of Amazon Connect contact flows that provided various end customer experiences based on dynamically changing values of certain parameters. The list of experiences and parameters that were delivered is as you see in the table on this slide. But how does this work, one may ask? At a high level, all the customer support phone numbers are mapped to the same initial Amazon Connect contact flow. You could call this the initialization flow. Now, when a call lands on the initial contact flow, if the value of the deployment variable, which is also our first parameter, is dev, then the Lambda functions needed for any backend integrations would be automatically invoked from the development environment. And similarly, if the value of the variable was production, then it would invoke Lambda functions that belong to the production environment. This means that Best Western no longer had to maintain different versions of these flows for different environments or hardcode any of these Lambda values. Similarly, based on the toll-free or DID number through which the call came in, the language offered to the customers changed dynamically. So for example, if a call came in on a number that belonged to France, the customers would automatically be offered French as the language. On the other hand, if the number belonged to Spain, the language offered would be Spanish. Even the prompt messages that were played out to the customers changed in real time based on the language offered. This made it really easy to have a single version of the flows that covered all the languages and also make quick changes to prompts. Likewise, the subflows, contact flows, queues needed for call routing, and any external transfer destinations were all invoked in real time based on parameters such as the country the call came in, the language selected, or the contact reason. And finally, any important customer contact data that was captured on the IVR was passed to the agent screen for visibility so that it could improve the first call resolution. This data was also stored in contact attributes so that Best Western could create custom country-wise reports. Now let's look at an architecture diagram to see how this was built. On the top left side of the slide, you can see that the customer calls into Best Western by dialing out their country-specific DID or toll-free number. This call lands on the Amazon Connect init contact flow via the PSTN. All calls, irrespective of the country they come in from, will land on this very same init flow. Now, this flow is nothing but the initialization flow that I spoke of earlier. And it invokes 3 Lambda functions, which basically set the tone for the subsequent call tree logic. Let's see how. The Lambda function 1 here queries the Amazon DynamoDB table A to retrieve the ARNs of all the other Lambda functions that will be subsequently used in the contact flow. The result of this query is based on the value of the environment parameter. So if the value of the environment parameter is dev, it will retrieve the Lambda ARNs that belong to the development environment. On the right side here, you can see a sample of data retrieved from table A. The value of the environment is prod, and you can see that the functions named getDynamicAttributes or getPrompts have relevance ARNs assigned as shown on the screen. Now, the Lambda function 2 is nothing but your getDynamicAttributes function. It queries DynamoDB table B to get a variety of call flow information based on the inbound dial number. So for example, let's say in this scenario, the number the customer dialed on starts with 33805. So we get the country associated with this as France, the language in which the IVR should be offered to the customer as French, the value of the main contact flow that should be offered next, and the values of the queues or external transfer destinations are also received. One can also get more information about the phone line here. In this case, this phone number is dedicated to the reservations line in France, and this value is retrieved for reporting or agent screen pop-ups. And finally, Lambda function 3 is our getPrompts function. It queries the DynamoDB table C to get all the relevant prompt messages that will be used in the IVR flow based on language. In this case, the language offered is French, and hence we see the relevant French messages for intro, menu prompt, and so on and so forth in the results. Now, once our initialization is complete, the call logic moves to the Lang subcontact flow, where we set an Amazon Poly voice based on the language offered. In this case, it will be a French-speaking voice. The next flow in line is the main flow, which is retrieved from table B. This flow is where one would dynamically play a welcome message or offer menu-based options to the customer. Poly plays out prompts dynamically as retrieved from table C. If there is any external API integration at this point, a Lambda function may be invoked. A series of subcontact flows are then called to progress the IVR logic, and eventually the call may be routed to an agent via queues, which were also dynamically retrieved from table B. Now, during the course of this entire call, any data which is relevant is captured in Amazon Connect contact attributes and also populated on the agent screen. This could be information such as which country the call came in from, who the caller is, why they called in. These contact attributes are also available in an S3 bucket as a part of the Amazon Connect contact trace records. This, in turn, is used to create country-wise reporting using Amazon QuickSight. This design helped Best Western significantly reduce the time they spent in managing or making changes to their customer experience flows. And as Troy highlighted, it reduced the maintenance and build of their routing logic by 51%. Let's now look at some actual contact flows built on this design and a quick demo of an IVR experience for 2 different countries.
For anyone who is seeing the screen for the first time, I have logged into my Amazon Connect instance dashboard as an administrator. On the sidebar, under the routing section, I will click on phone numbers. Over here you can see that I have claimed toll-free numbers for 3 different countries, namely the United States, France, and Spain. Each number acts as a reservations line for the associated country, and the important thing to note here is that all of them are mapped to the same 100_init contact flow. This is exactly as per the architecture we saw earlier. Moving on to the contact flows, once again under the routing section, you can see that I have 3 sample contact flows available. Again, based on our design, the init flow, the lang flow, and the main flow. I will now walk you through each of these contact flows at a high level, and we'll see how they have been built. Let's start with the init flow, and I have this opened up in a separate tab right here. In this flow, you will see 3 Lambda functions, as I had described in the architecture diagram. The first Lambda function retrieves arns of the subsequent Lambda functions that will be used in this contact flow. And in this case, the value of the environment parameter is dev. The second function gets the dynamic attributes for the call flow logic. Notice that the arn of this function is invoked using an external variable and is not hard-coded. Similarly, the third Lambda function gets prompts for the relevant countries. We also set certain contact attributes here in this block, mainly used for tagging and reporting purposes. This call is then transferred to the next flow, which is the lang flow. Let's look at that quickly. In the lang flow, we simply check for the language offered to the caller, and based on that, set the appropriate Amazon polyvoice. So for example, if the language was French, we set a French-speaking voice. If it's Spanish, we set a Spanish-speaking voice. Or for that matter, if it's English, we set an English-speaking voice. Over here, you can see 3 prompts. All of them are referenced using an external variable and are hence played dynamically. Similarly, in the transfer to flow block, our next subflow, which is our main flow, is also determined by the value of an external variable. Let's now look at our last flow, which is the main flow. In this example, you'll see that we have simply assigned a working queue. We check staffing of agents, hours of operations, and transfer the call to a queue. In theory, this flow could be anything based on your use case. You could probably play a welcome message here, offer a menu-based option, or go ahead and invoke more subcontact flows. However, the overarching idea remains the same. The important thing to note here once again is that the value of the queues are set dynamically too. This overall concept basically allows you to create different experiences for your customers using the same set of contact flows. It reduces your development effort substantially, streamlining your call flow development and making them much modular. I am now going to test these call flows by calling into 2 of the numbers that I had claimed earlier right here. Let's make the first call to the US line.
Thank you for calling on Tank Hotel Group. We value your premium membership and will connect you to an agent right away. This call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes. Please wait while we connect you with a specialist.
You heard the prompts being played out in English in Matthew's voice. Similarly, for the France line, you will hear prompts played out in French. Let me go ahead and make that phone call as well.
Merci d'avoir appelé Octave Hotel Group. Nous apprécions votre adhésion premium et vous mettrons en contact immédiatement avec un agent. Cet appel peut être surveillé ou enregistré à des fins de qualité. Veuillez patienter pendant que nous vous connectons avec un spécialiste.
That brings me to the end of my demonstration here.
The resources on the screen will help you build a similar solution for your contact center. The second GitHub link in particular contains a project that will help you deploy the exact same contact flows that I demoed, along with sample Lambda functions. You can use that to get started with your own dynamic contact center. Do check out these other Amazon Connect reInvent sessions to learn more about transforming your contact center. And finally, if you're new to Amazon Connect or simply want to learn more about the service, the resources on this screen will help you get started today. This brings me to the end of our session, and thank you for watching.